This morning, Luigi Mangione, privileged 28-year-old son of a well-off Maryland family who raged against corporate America, is expected to plead guilty to federal charges accusing him of stalking and killing UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson on a New York City street. Since his capture in Pennsylvania after a days-long manhunt, Mangione has maintained he is not guilty, but sources tell ABC News he is prepared to change his plea as he faces a mountain of evidence, including this video of Thompson's murder, the killer approaching from behind and shooting him in the back, and these writings police found during a search of Mangione's backpack. Frankly, one journal entry said, the parasites simply had it coming. Police also said they pulled the murder weapon from his bag. Mangione has his admirers who defend him and the murder he's accused of committing. But vigilante justice is a crime, and prosecutors have expressed confidence in the case. His potential guilty plea to federal stalking charges comes less than a month before he's scheduled to stand trial in state court for murder. His attorneys have already tried to dismiss those charges based on double jeopardy.
Double jeopardy is meant to protect people, and they're using it as a weapon here.
Now, if Mangione ends up pleading guilty here, and guys, he could always change his mind. He's guaranteed no leniency. Sources tell us this is no plea bargain. He could face life in prison. As for the state case, regardless of what happens here at federal court today, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is prepared to move forward, arguing there's a difference between stalking and murder. Guys.
All right, Aaron Katersky for us. Let's go ahead and bring in ABC News Chief Legal Analyst Dan Abrams. Dan, good morning to you. It's great to have you. So why would Mangione and his team agree to plead guilty?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of evidence against him, right? That's the first problem he's got. Number two is I think that he's trying to avoid two trials here. He's hoping that by pleading guilty in the federal case that he'll be able to avoid the state case because New York has a very protective double jeopardy law. And then finally, I think he'd prefer to serve time in a federal prison, which tend to be nicer than state prisons. So I think that he's hoping that that will lead to a federal prison. But don't assume this is necessarily going to happen. It's what Aaron said. There's the possibility that he comes in, he says, I'm going to plead guilty, and then the judge says, okay, tell me what it is that you did. Tell me what responsibility you're taking here. And then he goes off in a tangent, and the judge says, I'm not accepting the plea. I've seen that happen in cases where a judge will say, unless you tell me exactly what you did, unless you explain to me why you're guilty, I'm not accepting the plea.
So, Dan, what could this mean for that state case?
Well, look, first of all, as Aaron pointed out, they're going to still move forward and try to fight it. They're going to continue to try to get the case to go. The defense is going to say this is basically double jeopardy. But remember, it's a gamble because they can now use that federal plea against him in the state court. So it's not just that he's pleading guilty in federal court. It's if the case does go forward, and I think most people believe it probably would in some degree, you can now use that federal plea against him.
Wow.
All right, Dan Abrams, a whole lot on the line here.